Later this morning, a St. Paul jury will continue deliberating the fate of a St. Anthony police officer, Yanez.
The officer has been on trial for nearly 2 weeks, charged with manslaughter in the shooting death of Philando Castillo last summer during a traffic stop. Our Mary McGuire has covered this trial every step of the way, including closing arguments yesterday morning. And Mary, those closing arguments, this is the last chance. Were they compelling?
And they lasted most of the morning. Each side took about an hour to make their final case to the jury. Jason, the jury officially got the case around 1 yesterday afternoon. They spent until 4:30 deliberating, went back home, and they'll be back at it again here in Ramsey County this morning at 9 a.m. Now, first up yesterday was the prosecution. Lead prosecutor Jeffrey Paulson said that the evidence shows Officer Yanez is to blame and not the victim. He spoke of Castillo as a kind school cafeteria worker for St. Paul Public Schools, adding that he was a good man but not perfect. As for Officer Yanez, Paulson told the jury that he chose to use deadly force as a first option and not a last resort. Next was lead defense attorney Earl Gray, who told the courtroom Castillo prompted the incident and that Officer Yanez fired those shots because he feared for his own life. He told jurors that none of this would have happened if Philando Castillo wasn't smoking marijuana, and none of this would have happened if Philando Castillo would have followed orders. Now, the courtroom was absolutely packed for those closing arguments. There were many members of both the Castillo and Yanez family. Diamond Reynolds, who was in the car with Castillo when he was shot and killed, she was also there with her attorney. There are bigger courtrooms here in Ramsey County, but the judge specifically chose to hear this case in the particular one on the 8th floor because he wanted to limit the amount of people in the courtroom and potential distractions for the jury. Jason, we know that there have been very strict rules for folks who want to come and watch the testimony. The judge does not allow anyone in once the doors have been closed. He doesn't allow anyone out, even for a bathroom break. Once those doors have closed, no cell phones, no outward facial expressions, no movement. So he's really running a tight ship here throughout this case in Ramsey County.
It may be part of why things have moved so quickly in this trial as well. Mary, the judge could have decided to sequester the jury, but it seems like he's not ordering that for a reason that has to do really with getting to a just verdict here.
He didn't, and that's kind of interesting given the amount of national and really worldwide media attention that this case has garnered because of that Facebook Live video. Jurors are allowed to return home every night, but they can't watch TV, they can't read newspapers, they can't go on social media. And perhaps that's because the judge doesn't want them to rush to a verdict just because they want to get back home with their families. He really wants them to take their time and look over all the evidence before issuing their final decisions.
Mary, thank you. Stay with WCCO for continuing coverage as we wait for a verdict. A police chief